Breaking news we have for you regarding the special session of Parliament that's going to be starting tomorrow from the new Parliament building. Let's take a quick look. This is a special scoop we have about what exactly will take place in the special Sansad session. Remember, much mystery remains over why this session has been called. We do have some details with you. On the very first day of the special Sansad session, there will be discussions, events and anecdotes related to the 75-year journey of Parliament. On the second day, everyone will gather in the new building where MPs will be provided with a kit containing a copy of the Constitution along with 2 or 3 other documents. These are the details we have for you right now. Now we'll wait for a reporter to join us to bring us more context. My colleague Pallavi Ghosh with us. Pallavi, we know that a bulletin came out on Wednesday itself that shed some of these details about what could take place tomorrow and in the incoming days. How should we read this slice of information that you've brought us?
So the session actually begins tomorrow, but the shifting into a new Parliament building is only going to take place on 19th, which is Ganesh Chaturthi. And the main agenda of the special session, of course, is to discuss the journey of India as a democracy in the last 75 years. So all political parties are expected to speak on that. And I think the lead is possibly going to be taken by the Prime Minister. But every political party will be given a turn to speak on it. But apart from this, if you go by the preliminary agenda, there are 4 bills. That's the Postal Bill, the Election Commission bills, the Advocate Bill and the Press Regulation Bill. But there's always going to be a surprise element which everyone is speculating about. What is the bill which the government could bring towards the end? But for tomorrow, it's going to be in the old Parliament building. Discussion on 75 years is going to begin. But on day 2, which also happens to be Ganesh Chaturthi, is where the shifting will happen into a new Parliament building. And that's where everything is going to be new. But what we are being told is a copy of the Constitution is going to be given to every member of Parliament. That's going to be as a souvenir, new dress, new mahal, mother of democracy. That kind of an exhibition is also going to be put up in the new Parliament building.
Pallavi, our audiences know there's going to be a meeting that will take place in just a little while from now, an all-party meeting. Is there expected to be some kind of clarity that will be received there? Or as you were saying, will the clarity only possibly be arrived at once the session has started on the 2nd or 3rd day?
So there's no compulsion really on the government, Toya, to reveal the rest of the agenda, because normally a Business Advisory Council meeting takes place. But there is definitely going to be pressure coming in from the opposition parties today who will be attending that meeting on the government, that let's come clean. If you have a hidden agenda, then do tell us about it, because we need to prepare. I mean, it's not a coincidence, but you are seeing parties like Jairam Ramesh's Congress party or even the Trinamool Congress, all of them are tweeting. I mean, Jairam early this morning talked about the women reservation bill and how the Congress needs to be given credit for it, very because he's speculating that this bill may come up as a last-minute agenda. So I think today's meeting, which is going to begin shortly, over there, opposition parties are certainly going to be asking the government, what is the real agenda? Is it just going to be these 4 bills and the 75 years of democracy? And why should we not also discuss pressing issues like China, Kashmir, and the Adani corruption issue also?
Okay. Pallavi, if I could just ask you to stay with us for a second. Let me very quickly walk our audiences through something you were touching on right now. What are the bills that we do know are going to be seen during the special session of the Parliament? This is the passage essentially of pending bills. Number 1, there is the Chief Election Commissioner and Other Election Commissioners Bill. Essentially what this bill will do is pay election commissioners on par, not with Supreme Court judges, which is what they were paid at right now, but instead the level of cabinet secretaries. It will also take away the post-retirement benefits that they were previously offered. It essentially brings the EC underneath the bureaucracy. Now, we'll go to the criticism in just a second, but first let me very quickly bring you more about each. The Advocates Amendment Bill aims to bring some amendments into the profession of law. The Press and Registration of Periodicals Bills claims, according to the Minister of Information and Broadcasting, Anurag Thakur, to improve press freedom. Again, we'll take a deeper dive in there in just a second. The Post Office Bill is aimed at modernizing the process around post offices. It will allow employees now to open your mail. Now, number 5, as you can see, the Repealing and Amending Bill. This is a bill aimed essentially at repealing what the government says are 65 laws that are now obsolete. That was a quick summary. Let's go to my colleague Pallavi right now to understand more. Pallavi, we just walked our audiences very quickly through 5 of the bills that we do know are being discussed. Can you tell our audiences, to the agenda that we already know is on the table, what has the opposition had to say?
See, of all these bills, the one which has already begun to stoke controversy is the Election Commissioner's Bill, because this is what, for example, the Trinamool Congress has objected to, that it's only going to make the EC subservient even more to the bureaucracy and to the government. That's going to create a problem. I think the press regulation bill is in the context of more regulation and kind of curbs on them, especially in smaller towns and digital media. Over there, I think the BJP possibly could raise the issue of the recent boycott of certain 14 of those anchors that we have been talking about. But both the sides, particularly the opposition, is not convinced that this is the only reason why a special session has been called. They feel that this is just a kind of a makeover. This is a kind of the real agenda not being revealed. And there are speculations on plenty. Is it going to be one nation, one poll? That seems very difficult now to hear, because the first meeting of the committee is going to take place only on 23rd. Is it going to be possibly on the women reservation bill? Well, there are reservations about the women reservation bill. So there is a that could be seen as a game changer bill if this bill really comes up. I'm also talking about the Venkaiah Chalaya Commission, which was formed during the UPA time, that was not accepted by Dr. Manmohan Singh's government. It does talk about increased reservation of some of the segments like the OBCs. That could be a game changer. Is that also something which the government plans to bring? So there are lots of speculation, and the opposition's allegation is that the government is going to spring a surprise on them, and that's the real reason for the special session.
Pallavi, thank you for bringing our audiences that context. Let's take a look now at how opposition leaders are responding. This is the former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, leader of the NC, Farooq Abdullah. Take a look.
So you came today for the flag hoisting ceremony. However, the entire united opposition had boycotted the inauguration of Parliament.
Look,
what brought about the change of heart?
I do not know who boycotted it. I got an invitation. I thought it was a great honor to come and see the flag hoisted in the new Parliament. I don't want to create differences. I think by differences we're not going to make India. By thinking together for the future of this country, we have to work together.
You had a bit of a chai pe charcha with the government ministers as well. Did you ask them about what the agenda was? Because Sonia Gandhi had put in a
I didn't, because now the meeting is at 4 o'clock. So 4 o'clock we'll know what the agenda is.
You have given a lot of issues that you would like to discuss as well. Do you think the government is going to accommodate it?
I do not know whether how can I immediately say what the government is going to do. We do not know. Let's see what they're going to do. All the best.
मुझे इसकी कोई फिक्र नहीं है, ना परवाह है कि हमको नहीं बुलाया गया, बल्कि इसमें तो बहन मायावती भी नहीं है, केसीआर नहीं है, नॉर्थ ईस्ट के कई पार्टीज नहीं है, इसमें कई हिंदी हार्टलैंड के, महाराष्ट्र के जो छोटी पार्टियां हैं जिनका एक बहुत बड़ा रोल है वो नहीं है. तो अब ये लोग सेल्फ स्टाइल्ड सेकुलरिज्म के चौधरी हैं लोग. हमने तो हमारे मुख्यमंत्री से जो हमने बात की थी उनसे हमने कहा कि आप इसको लेकर आगे बढ़िए, पेशरफ करिए और एक थर्ड फ्रंट बनाइए जिसमें आप खुद टीआरएस होगी, दूसरे जो पार्टीज बाहर हैं उनको लीजिए. ये एक बहुत बड़ा पॉलिटिकल वैक्यूम इस देश में भी है और मैं समझता हूं कि उस पॉलिटिकल वैक्यूम को अगर केसीआर लीड लेंगे उसको वो फुलफिल कर सकेंगे, फिल कर सकेंगे.
Opposition parties decided to boycott the inauguration of the new Parliament building, which happened on the 28th of May. But today, quite a few opposition leaders are present. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, leader of the Congress party in Lok Sabha, he's present. Ram Gopal Yadav, he's a Samajwadi member of Parliament in the Rajya Sabha, he's present. I saw Dr. Farooq Abdullah also over there present. There was an MP from RJD also was present. So quite a few members have come forth. They of course will be having a cup of tea with the ministers in the government. There's Piyush Goyal there, there's Prahlad Joshi there, there's Muralidharan, and of course Arjuna Meghwal, who's also there as well. So obviously tomorrow is when the action begins in Parliament. Ahead of that, you can expect quite a stormy all-party meeting which happens at 4:30 in the afternoon. The government is called for the all-party meeting. Leaders of various political parties will be present. They obviously will want to question the government, because remember, Sonia Gandhi's letter stated very clearly that the agenda was not given out clearly, to which also Prahlad Joshi had very strongly retorted and said that the agenda will be released when it's need to be released. But there is a lot of doubt in the mind of the opposition parties. Essentially they feel that the government has put out the agenda, but this does not look like the agenda. The government is known to spring in surprises as well. I remember very distinctly, I was covering Parliament in 2019 and nobody had a whiff that the government would come up with the abrogation of 370 bill as well. So that's something which surprised one and all. So they don't expect anything to be certain from this government. So that's what the opposition parties will want to know. They have various issues that they would want to have a pressing discussion on, whether it's Manipur, whether it's inflation, or whether it's the Adani shares as well.